recording now. Go live. Hello, hello. I am apparently live. Hey, I am live. That's great. Hey, everyone. 1 second. I'm going to just get chat up on the thing. And then we can get started. Today we're going to be making a David Bowie tier list. I'm going to wait around until there's people in chat. I guess I got to like send out socials and stuff too. Yeah. What's up? I haven't been on Twitch in a while. I've been busy with the holidays, but I'm gonna try to do some streams in the coming few weeks. Get up to affiliate, which is fun. 1 second. I don't want to have all this dead air, but there's gonna be some dead air right now while I pop out the chat and do all that stuff. How y'all doing? All three of you in the chat there. What's up? Here we go. Now I can get the chat on there. Window capture, add source. I'm going to be doing a tier list rating all of my favorite Bowie albums today. So, you know, that's what's good. Let me just... Hey, Ezrock! How's it going? How's everyone doing on this evening or afternoon or morning or whatever time it is, wherever you're at? I hope you're doing well. Yeah. I'm gonna say a lot because I'm not entirely sure what I'm saying. Making a post on my YouTube page now on the community tab. So excuse the clacking. Yeah, what's good? And as we go through this, I'm gonna listen to some. Get caught up on my Bowie listening. A lot of these albums I won't know quite as well as I should, but I've listened to all of them a long time ago. So here's hoping I can still remember some things from that. We're gonna wait for some more people to come on though. All right. So, also like share it around. Get people in here. There's not too many people that know that I have Twitch yet. It's still a relatively new thing. still a relatively new thing for me, so I'm gonna try to make sure that spread the word, get some people in here, because I'm gonna be doing more and more streaming on Twitch in the new year, because it's just better for streaming than YouTube. All right, social posts are out. Let me send the Discord in. All right. Yeah, so we're gonna hang out and wait till we've got a few more people in here before I get started on the tier list itself. Yeah. Oh, Settle Cougar. Thanks for the following. I always like it when new people follow me. That's exciting. What's going on in the chat? How are your guys' days going? What's new? What's kicking? I don't know how to fill dead air alone. I wish I could play the music that I was talking about, but unfortunately I cannot. Because of copyright law, and apparently it's a felony to play it now. Why is my Spotify bug not working? What's going on with this? Okay, well, these things, that's the problem. Okay. There we go. It's back. It's my fault for being a fool. Maybe I'll start getting some albums up here to just to have handy when I wanna rank them. Oh, you got Iron Butterflies In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida on vinyl because of my video? That's awesome. That I do not have that on vinyl. That's a pretty sick album. So I feel like that'd be really fun on vinyl. Another follower. Britannic 192. Are you named after the amazing sketch comedy duo Britannic? Because they're some of my favorite sketch comedy people on the whole internet, so shout out to them. Oh yeah, Minor Threat is fantastic. Circus Sand has followed too. We're getting followers in. We love to see that. We love to see followers coming in. Love to see people watching. Got 11 people in here now. We'll hang out a little bit more. We'll wait a bit more. Why does my Spotify keep disappearing? That's really obnoxious. Is the Spotify bug gonna keep disappearing whenever I change to this thing? I'm not sure. All right. Yeah, what's good? What are your guys' thoughts on Bowie? What are y'all's favorite Bowie albums? What are you? Do we have any Bowie heads in the chat? Is that what? Is that? Yeah, Veku. Hey, fun fact. Veku's cat is in a polyphonic video. That's what happens if you go to the polyphonic Discord. Oh, Deadpan's in here. That means good. You'd better watch out. Is what that means. Hey. Oh, Jammer Dad. Love to see Jammer Dad in the chat, but don't love that Jammer Dad has barely heard Bowie stuff. There's so much to dive into. Circus Sand, that's another one of my friends, saying Transformer is my favorite Bowie album. That's a hot take, but I think I've got to do. I think I might actually need to put Transformer in here. If we're doing Bowie produced albums, I can do that. He basically did Transformer. I mean, alongside Lou Reed. Lou Reed also did a lot of Transformer. Oh, yeah. Bowie stuff Set El Cougar. I know about what the area is and areology. I know lots about areology. I dabbled with areology in high school. Um, Bowie, but my love for Bowie I didn't actually get from my parents. I got from my friend Kim. So shout out to Kim if she's out there. She actually my friend Kim did this art that I've got here, this drawing, which was used in one of my Bowie videos, which is really cool. Uh, yeah, she's the one that got me into Bowie. I got into Bowie when I was in high school, hanging out in the back room in my spare, doing things I shouldn't have been doing oops, deadpan, and spamming the Discord. Go join the Discord if you possibly want your cat in a polyphonic video. All right, we're getting some people in here. It's small, it's nice, but we're getting people in here. I'm only a few streams. If I do a few more streams, I'll get affiliate, and I'm excited to get affiliate so we can start doing some fun stuff in here. But in the meantime, we can do without affiliate. We don't need it. But the goal is to get affiliate soon. That's why we're going to do some of these streams. I might do another stream this week as well. If you guys enjoyed tier lists. Yes, please spam me with bits. Spam your bits all over me, Kev. Yeah. Oh, show your Adam. I show my tits. I don't have any. So that's sorry, I can't. Oh, Dadpan's dropping the hammer in there. All right. What else are we doing here? Once we get, what do you guys think of in terms of order? Should I just do this in terms of like sort them by their release, or kind of go from like my least favorite to my favorite, or what are y'all thinking in terms of order? I like Les Claypool. I was a big fan of Les Claypool in high school. Okay, chronologically makes sense. This is some good tea. Oh, thanks, Lee Spitzer. Thanks. I'm glad you like my work. All right, everyone's. It's pretty unanimous that people want chronologically, so we're gonna do these chronologically. I'm just grabbing these things out so I'm prepared when I start doing them. What kind of tea am I sipping? Chai tea with a bit of milk and some cardamom honey, which is awesome. Since I've started live streaming, I've become a slut for chai because my voice is shot all the time. Yeah, so how are we doing here? How are we doing in the numbers? We got 17 people here apparently. Get some more people in here so we can start this tier list off, and so I can start ruining your perceptions of me as a person with good music opinions. I guess I'll start listening to these. I should do a marathon stream where I listen to David Bowie's entire discography and react in real time to the whole thing without stopping. I've listened to all of Bowie's albums, but a lot of them I haven't listened to since high school. So we're gonna see. Are we including Tin Machine 1 and 2, the Labyrinth soundtrack, or Buddha of Suburbia? Definitely including Tin Machine. Probably we'll throw the Labyrinth soundtrack in there. And yeah, sure, why not Buddha of Suburbia? Laughing Gnome is a single, actually. I don't think it's not on any of the albums, is it? and yeah, laugh. But the Laughing Gnome wasn't actually released on the self-titled debut album. There's a lot of Laughing Gnome memes going on here, though. We'll see if we can put a gnome in. All right, we're up to 33 viewers. It wasn't a bonus track. It was released as a single. The Laughing Gnome was Bowie's first ever single, and it exists. It was a thing. That's what I'll say about Laughing Gnome. I guess I'm gonna need some tears here. All right. For the time being, we'll just do like A, S, whatever. But we'll come up with some fun names for the tiers later. A. Oh yeah, S tier is best. That's how the children's do it, right? We go S. The lowest tier should just be called the 80s. Are you kidding me? Let's Dance is a fucking solid A tier album. Let's Dance is incredible. S. The Side Effects of the Cocaine tier. I like that. D. F. E. F. Sub. I don't know. We're skipping E because F is like a failure, you know. Maybe I should also do, maybe alongside the tier list, or if once I'm done this, if I still want to do stuff, I'll also do I'll also rank his looks, because I do have opinions on the best and worst Bowie looks as well. All right. So let's get in here. Let's get started here with the B tier. We're gonna throw the self-titled right into the B tier. I don't really have any problems with this album. No, it might be C tier. It's probably C tier. It's not a bad album. It's honestly an underrated album. But I don't think Bowie is at his best doing the I don't know, the folk thing. Like the kind of like janky psychedelic folk thing is fun, and it's like a little yeah, it's fun. This album is fun and weird, and I like it for that, but I don't think I would really, I don't listen to it for pleasure that often. I'm just going through it now to review some of the songs. We Are Hungry Men is actually solid. Yeah, generally I don't even have that much to say about his self-titled. It's in terms of like self-titled self-titled albums of prolific artists, I would put it lower than Bob Dylan's self-titled. But oh, She's Got Medals is about a trans icon. Which one? Bowie hung with a number of trans icons, actually. Yeah, no, Bowie's been. Are you surprised that Bowie had progressive sexual politics? That's kind of his whole thing until he renounced his bisexuality, which I'm not in the 90s. Again, the 90s. It wasn't a great time to be a Bowie fan. Though even then, the industrial stuff is decent. I forget the woman's name, but not during this period, but during the Berlin era, Bowie was like ran in the same circles as a trans club owner who was really influential. So yeah, trans rights in the chat. All right. David Bowie, aka Space Oddity. This one's a solid A tier album. I'm very fond of this album. Obviously the title track is fantastic, but everyone knows that. Romy Hogg. I'm sure I completely completely mispronounced that. But thank you, Adam Baker. Like Space Oddity is everyone knows, like that's an all-time space rock song, but there's some really nice I think the kind of folk thing, the weird folk thing that Bowie does on his first album, he kind of removes his tongue from his cheek a little bit and does some stuff more seriously on this album, and it works really well. This is hippie Bowie, and I'm here for it. Like Letter for Hermione is really beautiful. It's got some really beautiful soundscapes, some beautiful songwriting. And I'm also a big fan of more people following. Thank you to all the new followers. I'm also a big fan of Memory of a Free Festival. If you haven't listened to it, a big juicy pineapple. Thank you. If you haven't listened to it, Memory of a Free Festival is this really cool, long, I don't know, it's just like the hippie dream, you know? It's just like singing about a bunch of people doing drugs and having sex together in a park. That's my interpretation, at least. And I really like it. It's got this kind of big epic build. The 2-part single version I have listened to, and it is not as good. You are correct, local bloke. Yeah, I really enjoy this album. An Occasional Dream is also, just very clearly, like, that titling is Bowie pulling on Bob Dylan influence titling. Like, An Occasional Dream, the song itself doesn't sound like it could be a Dylan song, though it has those influences there, but An Occasional Dream is 100% a Dylan title. That's what Dylan would name a song. And it's a really pretty song. I like Bowie's voice in it. There's this real fragility to it, and vulnerability to it that I like. Local bloke, will this stream be posted on one of my YouTube accounts? Yes, if you follow Polyphonic Live, I'm going to be trying to get highlights of live streams posted. So Polyphonic Live on YouTube. I'm going to just drop it. I'm just going to drop the link in the chat there for all of you. Cool. Oh, thank you, local bloke. Yeah. We're getting some. It's taken some time, but we're starting to get some stuff. Thank you, Deadpan, too. We're starting to get some stuff on there. The first highlight on there should actually be this week, and next week we should have another one as well. This week we're probably gonna have the highlights of the Christmas chart up, and then I think next week my Led Zeppelin tier list that I did is gonna come up. Any thoughts? Any more questions on Space Oddity? Or should I move on? Or David Bowie or Space Oddity? It's obnoxious that David Bowie has 2 albums called David Bowie, which is like that's really, I don't like that. But other than that, yeah. What do you all think? Any more thoughts? Signet Committee? What's the best album to get into Bowie? Honestly, the best album to get into Bowie is probably Ziggy Stardust. I think that's it's a bit of a boring answer, but I think it's the best album to get into Bowie. Signet Committee, I like Bowie when he's doing psychedelic stuff. I like it. I feel like it would have been, I think the thing with Bowie is he came on just kind of at the end of the psychedelic thing. Like, if he was a little older, I think a Bowie album in like 1967, like I think a Bowie album that was like full-on psychedelic would have been awesome. Yeah, I like Signet Committee. I think it's really pretty, and I really threw out. Oh yeah, thank you, Happy Ron, for shouting out the Instagram. I'm really fond of Bowie's I'm fond of Bowie's singing throughout this entire album. Um I mean, I always love his voice, but he's singing higher up in his range, and it's all very wispy in this album, which I like. All right. All right, moving on. Man Who Sold the World. Um 1970. What an album. What an album. This, for a long time, this was actually my favorite Bowie album. I really like this album, so we're going to drop it. We're going to drop it right there in the in the S tier, I think. I don't think we're going to drop it. We're going to drop it over a little because I know for a fact that a couple albums are going to go higher than it. But yeah, Fanboy Bowie is right. Bowie is delicious. Um, Width of a Circle, the opening track is phenomenal. I love kind of these like progressive sweet tracks that have multiple movements and stuff like that. And the Width of a Circle is fantastic for that. Um lyrically lyrically I like uh lyrically I love the Width of a Circle too, because I mean it's very homoerotic, which is awesome. Um Live albums, I don't think we're going to I don't think we're going to uh I don't think that we're going to do live albums. We'll see where we go here. Um yeah, exactly. Width of a Circle is also about having sex with the devil, which is neat. I agree. I love Width of a Circle, and I believe Man Who Sold the World. Does Man Who Sold the World have Rano on guitar? Yeah. It's got the it's got it's got the first appearance of Mark Ronson on guitar, and honestly, it shows. Mark Ronson adds so much to Bowie's sound, and especially peak glam Bowie. Like, you can really hear it in the Width of a Circle compared to his first two albums where Bowie does a lot more acoustic stuff. Bowie works well with that bright, shiny grit and growl. A Big Juicy Pineapple, he should have gone for an artistic nude shot. I would not have complained about that. Bowie, yeah, Width of a Circle is phenomenal. Title track is obviously a great song. Better than Nirvana's cover, the original version. I'm that kind of I'm that team. Um, yeah, generally I think this is almost underrated as a glam rock album, because it's not like, we're not at full Ziggy yet, but this album has everything you need. Everything you need in a glam album. It's got killer guitars. It's got weird, sexy lyrics. Um, yes, yeah. All the Madman is Men is really nice. Black Country Rock is good. It's got some good rockers, some weird songs, some. The Man Who Sold the World is also a song where I think it's one of those songs where it's almost so overrated that it's underrated. Like, everyone brings it up all the time. But lyrically, I think The Man Who Sold the World is where you're really kind of starting to see Bowie's ability to craft these really, really compelling, interesting stories in song form, in this very kind of ethereal way that I really enjoy. I think it's a really, yeah. I think The Man Who Sold the World gets the praise that it does. for a reason. Um, any more questions on Man Who Sold the World, or should we move on to Hunky Dory? What are y'all feeling? Are y'all feeling hunky dory up in here? Hey, get it? Get it? It's the name of the album. I can't hear the laughter and applause, but I'm assuming it's there. Hunky Dory is a great album. Um, am I familiar with the Ziggy Stardust Kanye West conspiracy? Of course I am. The yeah, Hunky Dory. I like Hunky Dory a lot. I think it's probably gonna go at the probably close to the top of the A tier. Um, 1 second. There we go. Sorry, I needed to blow my nose, and I don't think any of you wanna hear that on mic. Um, I really love Hunky Dory. I love the album artwork too. It's fantastic. Yeah, check out the Discord. Deadpan's gonna keep spamming it because you should be on the Discord. Hunky Dory is better than every album that came before it, and you can't change my mind. Oh, snotty phonic. Thanks, Adam Baker. Thanks, I hate it. Um, yeah, no, I absolutely love Hunky Dory. I think I just prefer I really like the guitar work on The Man Who Sold the World, so I think I prefer that a bit better. I also think God, oh, you know what? I might need to I'm revisiting this though, and that that run, that first side, the run of Changes, Oh You Pretty Things, 8-line poem, Life on Mars, and eh, Kooks. Ah, God, yeah, no, I think this is gonna, I think this might, this is something where I haven't really revisited my evaluation of these two albums in a while. I think I might actually put Hunky Dory higher. I think Hunky Dory is a top heavy album. I have nothing. I like Andy Warhol. Song for Bob Dylan's decent. Um, but man, those like Life on Mars is one of the greatest songs ever written. It's a contender for Bowie's best song. In my mind, it's just astounding and heartbreaking. Um, yeah, I'm very, very fond of Life on Mars. Changes is the theme song for Bowie. Absolutely happy Ron. I'm also quite fond of Changes as a song. Changes Changes has um Changes has this universality to it. Changes has some of my favorite lyrics Bowie ever wrote. Specifically, um, I'm specifically fond of where is it? And these children that you spit on as they try to change their world. They are immune to your consultations. They're quite aware of what they're going through. I love that line and I love that sentiment because I think time and time again, we see one older generation look down on a younger generation and say, "Oh, you don't know. Oh, you've got it hard. We've got it hard. All of these things." And Bowie's just like fuck that sentiment. And I fully agree. I fully agree with that. With what Bowie says there. And it really bums me when I see people my age complaining about Zoomers or things like that because I'm so proud of the younger generation and now that I'm a grown up and am starting to see generational gaps for the first time, there's things I don't understand, but I love Zoomers. Zoomers are politically active. They're fucking hilarious. Zoomers are great and they're trying to change the world and that's awesome. So I am not gonna spit on them, as Bowie would say. Um, yeah. Shout out to all the Zoomers in the audience, and shout out to everyone else in the audience, because generational theory is dumb. This is a rant that you'll see me do on my Discord a lot. I am a millennial, and I am spit on as trying to change, trying to change my world frequently. So I like changes. Am I missing anything else? Eight Line Poem is a beautiful, tiny, small song. I really like small songs. Um, the the entirety of Hunky Dory has this, just this like morning sun waking up on a Sunday kind of vibe, like with Eight Line Poem and Oh You Pretty Things and Kooks, and it's this really nice, warm, um, relaxing vibe, and I really like it. Eight Line Poem is just beautiful. The piano sounds on this album also kick total ass. Apologies for the silence. I'm actually just listening to Eight Line Poem right now and realizing I haven't listened to Hunky Dory in way too long. This kicks total ass. Oh yeah. All right. I think by the way, Adam Baker, thanks for all of your input in the chat. This is really awesome. If you want to shout out, you said you're working on a video on the man who sold the world. So shout out your channel. Shout out your channel in the chat. Self promote. I love as long as people aren't spamming. I love when people share their work. Cuz the world needs more good people making good stuff about good music. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, I think we're ready to move on to um I think we're ready to move on to the next album, which is of course the legendary Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Share a link, Adam. Absolutely. Please. I like it when people are able to give their link a platform. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so this is where we're gonna have to like um yeah, happy Ron also. um yeah. Awesome. I am looking forward to checking out some of these videos, Adam. I love when there's more music video essayists. And with this, we're gonna go into Ziggy Stardust. I feel like there should be a tier called the Bowie's in Space tier. Um, because Bowie is at his best when he's in space. Um, uh, yeah, this album, I don't know, this album is S tier for me, absolutely. I think I think I you would have a hard time finding an album that has a better opener and a better closer. 5 years is an absolutely perfect album opener. Um and Rock and Roll Suicide is absolutely like what you want in an album closer. I think you can kind of see with the run of Man Who Sold the World and Hunky Dory going into Ziggy Stardust. Excuse me. With the run of Man Who Fell to World, Hunky Dory, with those going into Ziggy Stardust, you can feel this thing where it feels like Ziggy Stardust is this culmination of this trilogy where Man Who Sold the World is Man Who Sold the World is a lot heavier, has a lot more of the guitars. Hunky Dory has these beautiful melodic piano parts. And when you put them together, you get when you put those things together, you get the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. It's this culmination. It combines them both perfectly. It takes you on this emotional tour. It's almost a concept album. I mean, it's not really a rock opera in the way of The Wall, but it's awesome. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this album. I guess I can go through song by song. 5 years is so heavy and so good. It's one of my favorite Bowie songs. And again, like I said, so is Rock and Roll Suicide. That's why I did a video on Rock and Roll Suicide. But everything in between, this is a perfectly sequenced album. I mean, we go through Soul Love, I really love. Moon Age Daydream with the cut up lyrics, like the thick guitar and I'm an alligator, like I'm a mama papa coming for you. That's how you start a fucking rock and roll song. It's, yeah, I don't even feel like I have that much to add to the discussion on this, because just about everything that needs to have been said about this album has been said about this album. The story, I love the story. I love the idea. It's interesting. I always see the story as a theme that Bowie kind of echoed in when you see like The Man Who Fell to Earth, The Man Who Fell to Earth, the movie that he acted in. It's very much this take on the same kind of story as of Ziggy Stardust, which is an alien coming to Earth and getting jaded and burnt out by living on Earth. And I think that's something I really like about Bowie, is he was very fond of putting the human experience through the lens of an alien. Writing his songs in these alien perspectives, and by in doing so revealing something about humanity. And I think that's really cool. Lady Stardust, hella underrated, absolutely. Starman, those opening chords are some of my favorite and some of the most iconic, iconic opening chords in all of music. The Run too, go along with the Find a Better Song, an album that has better bookends. Find an album that ends on like 3 of the most iconic songs of the entire album. The run of the album, the final run of the album goes Ziggy Stardust, Suffragette City, and Rock and Roll Suicide. Like, that's insane to end an album. Usually there's some snoozer at the end of an album, and Bowie's just fucking all out. We stan. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Even the outtakes from this album are phenomenal. I mean, like Velvet Goldmine, Johnny, I'm Only Dancing, like songs that didn't make this album would have been the best song on other albums by other artists. Oh, also, I mean, the fact he also wrote all the young dudes for this album and gave it to Mott the Hoople. Like, this was just an artist at the peak of their creative potential. This is Bowie in his Imperial phase, and it kicks ass. I'd also really recommend, if anyone hasn't heard Velvet Goldmine, which is like one of the outtakes, one of the B-sides from the album, it's phenomenal. It's actually one of my favorite Bowie songs, and it's where the amazing Todd Haynes movie, Velvet Goldmine, takes its name from. Yeah, so what I will say about Ziggy Stardust is all of the praise that has been heaped on it is well deserved, and honestly, it probably deserves more. It's one of the greatest albums in history. Um, yeah, that's it. Great album, best album, one of the best of Bowie's career. I don't actually think it's his best, but we'll get to that later. Um, Next up, we're getting weird with Aladdin Sane. I like Aladdin Sane. I like Aladdin Sane a lot. I don't think it makes it up to the S tier. I think it's in the A tier. You know what? I can just delete these. I'll just pull them up when I need to get to them. I think at its highs, Aladdin Sane is as good as Bowie gets. But I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same a perfect album like Ziggy Stardust. You know, I think there are things. There are some songs that I could skip here, but I mean the title track of this is incredible. Some of my favorite piano work on any song. Yeah, I think this is tough because it's kind of like, how do you follow an album like Ziggy Stardust? I think this album has some kind of like vintage rock and roll things going on. I like Aladdin Sane a lot, but who will love Aladdin Sane? I love that. I like this album when it's weird. But it's also just got like Driving Saturday and Let's Spend the Night Together are very, even Gene Genie are very just like kind of traditional rock and roll. You see where the 50s rock and roll influence comes in on Bowie, and that's awesome. But as a whole, I think I might actually put it below Space Oddity. Still A tier, still a great album, still Bowie in his prime, just not quite what it needs to be. And I think you can see that Bowie kind of struggled with the follow-up to Ziggy Stardust, because alongside Aladdin Sane, we get Pinups. So this is his albums as well as his stuff with Tin Machine and maybe the Labyrinth soundtrack. We'll see. Yeah. Pinups. What do we have to say about Pinups? I think I put it in the D tier. I think the choice of covers is really cool. I think he's got some good songs that he chooses to cover, but I don't think he does a good job of doing those covers. You do not lose all your credibility as a Bowie fan for liking Pinups. People are allowed to like whatever they like. But it's just not for me. I don't like covers albums. Self-Portrait is probably the only covers album that I seriously like. I don't know. It's just it's weird to see someone who is as relentlessly creative as David Bowie do a covers album at that, and just do an album that, I don't know, it kind of feels like it's unnecessary. I'm not going to focus on bad albums too much because it's more fun to talk about good albums. And speaking of good albums, Diamond Dogs. I mean, hands down, some of the most cursed album artwork in all of music history. Really not. Really, I absolutely hate. Absolutely hate this album artwork. Um, yeah. What was I? Oh yeah, Diamond Dogs. I think it's I think it's good. Um, I think a lot of people I think a lot of people rate it higher than I would. I think I've got it in a high B tier. Um, I think it's interesting. Bowie when Bowie tries to kind of do the rock opera, the concept album thing, I just don't think it really I don't think he pulls it off for some reason. I like him better when he's very kind of like ethereal, and Ziggy Stardust is a concept album, but it also kind of isn't. Um this and same with this. Like it was famously attempted to be a 1984 adaptation. Um and there's some great songs on it. I mean, like 1984 is phenomenal. Obviously Rebel Rebel is a classic. Yeah, Rebel Rebel is great. I think this album there's some nice inventiveness to this album. There's some cool soundscapes that I really enjoy. Um it's just it's just not fully what I want from Bowie. I really my favorite song is probably actually 1984. We Are the Dead also is really good. And yeah, Rebel Rebel. I mean, what do you say about Rebel Rebel? It's Rebel Rebel, you know? Um it's phenomenal. It's it's Bowie doing the Bowie thing, and it's kind of a I don't know, it's kind of a um sorry. It's kind of like Rebel Rebel is like the last great glam Bowie song. It's glam Bowie. It is it's got that guitar tone. It sings about cross dressing. It's everything you want. Uh, Sweet Thing is also phenomenal. Um, uh, but yeah, no, I mean Rebel Rebel is Bowie doing the Bowie thing. Yeah, glam Bowie's swan song in a way. And with that, I think we'll move on to Young Americans. Oh yeah, I love Young Americans. Young Americans is going into the A tier. I think Young Americans I'm probably even gonna put above Aladdin Sane. Um, Young Americans, it's God, yeah, it's Young Americans is one of his is one of Bowie's best looks. It's I don't know, like it's Bowie doing soul. What more do you want? I think the title track is astoundingly good. And it absolutely should be the first album. Bowie is very good at kicking off albums with a bang. Um, it's him and Visconti. Visconti as a producer is great. You should rate the album covers based on how hot he is on them. Um, all right, wait one sec. I'm gonna grab. All right, I'm gonna grab a little fire emoji. Um, and tell you in how many fires how hot Bowie is. Oh God, no, that's an ugly one. Um, um, okay, one sec. I need to find a decent fire emoji. There we go. Or should I do a fire, or should I? Okay, so rating Bowie's hotness on them in fires. We get the scale is out of 5 fires. So we're gonna have 4 fires. 4 fires on Sexy Femme Bowie. Absolutely. Um, we love Sexy Femme Bowie. We stan. 4 fires on Hunky Dory. Again, Sexy Femme Bowie. Uh, Bowie breaking gender. We love it. We love to see it. We stan. Um, Aladdin Sane, I think Aladdin Sane is very hot, but also kind of creepy. Um, so we're gonna give it three fires. Um, 3 fires for the hotness of Aladdin Sane. And you know what? We're also gonna give 3 fires to Space Oddity. The eyes are there. The jawline is great. The hair doesn't quite. Yeah, the perm doesn't quite do it for me. Young Americans, we get 5 fires. 5 fires, and I will not have anyone say anything else. Like, where Bowie is so dreamy that I'm losing my ability to talk in this. Yeah, Young Americans is burning the fuck up. All right. Young Americans, more like hot Americans. Yeah. Bert's Twitch, who went away for 2 minutes and came back to rating how hot David Bowie is on the album covers. Funny how things can shift. Yup. This is how things go when I make charts. 5 inverted fires, -5 fires, -5 fires for Diamond Dogs. This is fucking cursed. I hate it. I really, really hate it. I'm not into dog Bowie. Alright. I think we can go 4 fires for Ziggy Stardust. It might be 5 if we could see him up close, but I mean, look how pixelated that is. How hot are those pixels? Adam Baker says he's so hot on the Young Americans cover, he's literally smoking. Absolutely. This one might be controversial, but I'm gonna give young cherub David Bowie 4 fires too. The haircut's a little weird, but I don't know. I would. Yeah. Pinups Bowie is gonna get a solid 3 fires. He's a little uncanny, a little weird. Not everything I want. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the back of the Ziggy sleeve gives a better view of his bulge. That I do not doubt. Alright. Where we got sidetracked a little. Who could have predicted that happening? And we're gonna go with, we're just talking about Young Americans. I like his cover of Across the Universe. He hams it up a little bit, but there's some charm to it. Yeah, Young Americans it's Blue-Eyed Soul Bowie. I don't know what else to say about it. Yeah. Right has such a sick groove. Fame is Fame. I mean, again, starting on Young Americans, ending on Fame. Bowie bookends his albums. He starts and ends strong. That's cool, Adam Baker. I didn't know that. Pinups was initially intended for a Vogue cover, but Bowie liked it so much he decided to use it as an album cover. That's fun. Alright. So, let me tell you what's happening now. What's happening now is, we've got an old friend who's about to return. We'll call it the return of the Thin White Duke. Station to station. Bowie's best album? Maybe. We'll see. It is for now. Station to Station is a masterpiece. There's a reason I did a video on the Thin White Duke. I love Station to Station. I mean, the title track is one of the greatest songs ever written, one of the greatest songs of Bowie's career. Yes, we are throwing darts in lovers' eyes. Absolutely we are. Bowie's throwing his darts in my eyes. What to say about Station to Station? Station to Station, there is no song like Station to Station. How do you have a song that starts out like with this plodding, heavy, dark intro and then explodes into this groovy funk dance? It's this whole album is simultaneously the most fun and one of the most terrifying moments of Bowie's career. Like, his music is so heavy and dark, but also has such vivid grooves, and the lyricism is incredible. I love the persona of the Thin White Duke as this doomed classical romantic. And it really comes through in the lyrics too. Station to Station has been one of my favorite Bowie songs since I was in high school. Excuse me. Yeah, it's a perfect song. It's a damn near perfect album. The return of the Thin White Duke throwing darts in lovers' eyes. Here are we, one magical movement, such as the stuff from where dreams are woven. Incredible opening lines, and incredible to like build for like 3 minutes into that. I love the like mechanical soundscapes going on in the background, the train sound. Just in a way this is Bowie at his most Bowie. I feel like people might say that Ziggy Stardust is Bowie at his most Bowie, but I think Bowie at his most Bowie is Station to Station. There's a real darkness and heaviness to Bowie that he has at a lot of points in his career, and it really comes through on this. The rest of the album is also fantastic. Golden Years, what a groove, what a great dance song. And again, it's got this darkness peeking out from it. He's like singing this Golden Years thing, and then there's the like dark like Run for the Shadows thing. I think this album clearly was written by someone on a lot of cocaine. But it really, I don't know, I feel like it depicts this a lot of the time when you get narratives of addiction, you get something like The Downward Spiral, which is a fantastic album, but the whole thing is this heavy, dark, raw, emotional thing. With Bowie's addiction album, his album about cocaine, it's this album that is fucking fun and exuberant and haunted and alone beneath that. Like, at its highs, it is so happy and so fun and dancing and delightful, and I think that's something why that people, a lot of the time when people make art about addiction, the thing that they forget to include is the fact that drugs are fun. And Bowie makes coke sound fun until it's not. Bowie makes coke sound fun and makes it sound like you want to dance in Station to Station and Golden Years, but has this undercurrent of like the Run for the Shadows. And then Word on a Wing and Wild is the Wind are just harrowing. Just absolutely harrowing songs where Bowie is laying himself bare. He is desperate and alone. It's such a good album. Also, TVC 15 is about him and Iggy Pop being on so many drugs that they thought someone was coming out of their TV. Yeah, Bert's Twitch, that's a good way of putting it. It's a good expression of what drugs are like. It's always fun until it's not, then it goes down fast. Um yeah, I think it serves as a cautionary tale, but it's also unflinchingly honest. Oh, Station to Station, Bowie, absolutely. And a big juicy pineapple based on Ashes to Ashes. We'll get to Ashes to Ashes. We're still we're still half a decade away from that though. Um and now we're going to go in get into we're finally at the Berlin trilogy. Uh Low. Hey, speaking of almost Talking Heads-esque, um Low. Uh Low is probably Low is probably my favorite album off of the Berlin trilogy. Um it's got it's got a groove that Heroes doesn't have. And it's I mean Breaking Glass sounds like Bowie doing a Talking Heads sounds like Bowie doing a Talking Heads song. Um Low is I don't know. I really like Low. It's heavy, but it's also fun. It's futuristic. It's Bowie doing Bowie. What else can you say about it? Always crashing in the same car is so like weird and ethereal, and I feel like I think it's interesting because I think people kind of point at the Berlin trilogy as if it's this big market change, which to some extent it was in Bowie's personal life, but musically I think it's a very clear continuation from Station to Station. Um I think it's got a lot of the same lyrical themes. I think musically it's got the same groove. The production sound is a bit more spaced out. Um a bit more synthy, which is really cool. Um Speaking of synthy, Subterraneans is a phenomenal closer and kind of gets into some of the weird krautrock like soundscapes that we get on Heroes, and it's haunting and weird. Um and then Warsawa. Brian Eno, David Bowie. What more can you say? Um, yeah, it's Bowie's. It's great. It's Bowie and Eno doing weird, dark, spacey synthscapes with like strange calls from the background. I love Warsaw. I love Low. Low is Low is one of my favorite Bowie albums and always has been. Um I think it's I think for most people they'd put Heroes above it, but um personally I'm going to put it above Heroes. And in terms of hotness, I think we can give him 4 fires on Low for the hotness. Also, Sound and Vision kicks ass too. I just keep putting on bits of songs from this album to remind me about them, and I keep remembering how phenomenal they are. I think the thing that stops me from giving him a 5 on this one is that he looks a bit like a creepy space alien, which I get is his whole thing, but I'm more attracted to humans than creepy space aliens. Oh, I really like the synths on Low. The synths throughout Low are really remarkable. And I think you can see him kind of. I think when you listen to the Berlin trilogy, which came out in the late 70s, you can see why everyone in the 80s was like, oh my god, we should do everything with synths, because the synths that Bowie was able to do in the Berlin trilogy were incredible. Um, just really, really fantastic. And speaking of heroes, S tier again. Um, S tier for heroes, just because it's heroes. You know, I think Heroes is a great album. Um, I also think it's an album where the title track is the best song. Um, but the title track is also one of the best songs ever written. Um, it's just any explanation behind the hands? Oh, the hero's hands? I don't know actually. Um, but you can see out there. There's a lot of pictures of other like other photos from the heroes photo shoot that the picture was taken from. Um, Apparently, according to Wikipedia, it's a nod to a painting by Eric Heckel. Um, Bowie said it was a reference to Loss. Is Heroes Loss? I think Heroes can get 5 Bowies for the hotness on the cover. He looks like he means business. Um, he looks like he's putting a heart on his chest, and his other heart is raised up and being like, "I'll punish you," in a hot way. Um, I don't know. I like Heroes a lot. I especially I really like the B side of Heroes with all these weird Eno krautrock things. Moss Garden and Nukon. I really like Nukon. I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's somewhere in Berlin, but I really like these dark ambient soundscapes that he does. I think they're really cool. I think Heroes is an album where while I like the title track more than anything else on the album, and it's on the A side, the B side is where I really love Heroes. The B side is this dark, weird stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I really like the B side, and just generally, Heroes is a great album. Um, and now we get to. By the way, Blackout kicks total ass. Um, I think. I think just an underrated thing that people don't talk about enough with Bowie, um, is Visconti and like what Tony Visconti does, because he works so well with Bowie. He knows how to produce Bowie. You can hear that a lot in the Berlin trilogy. I love Bowie's vocals on Blackout. All right, yep, it's time for Lodger. Uh, AKA the other one. uh, I don't really like Lodger. I'm sorry if if that take is gauche. Um, I don't think it's bad, but I I don't think it's I don't know, it's not on the same level as the rest of the Berlin trilogy. Um I don't have that many uh I don't have that many takes on Lodger uh because I don't listen to I don't listen to Lodger that much, honestly. Um like, it's Bowie and Eno, but I think I think Bowie and Eno are better on Heroes together. Um, you can hear I'm struggling here because I really just don't listen to Lodger very much. I think it's a good album. I think I might even put it in C. But probably above is self-titled. Um, it just doesn't do it for me. As for the hotness, I'm not I'm not into feet. So we're gonna I guess one fire for the hotness. I'm not a foot guy. No hate if you are a foot guy and if you're into Bowie's boots stepping on your face. Um, but what can I say? I'm not a foot guy. Uh, all right. Now we are on to scary monsters and super creeps. We're up to the 80s, guys, gals, and otherwise. And let me tell you, it's no game. Scary Monsters and Super Creeps is firmly in the A tier. I like this album a lot. Um, I like post punk Bowie. I like art rock Bowie. Um, I also um I mean Robert Fripp. Didn't mention Robert Fripp on Heroes. Robert Fripp's work on Heroes was phenomenal. Robert Fripp's work on Scary Monsters and Super Creeps also phenomenal. Um, yeah. Uh, getting into the songs. A title track is phenomenal. Ashes to Ashes. Um, yeah. Let's talk about Ashes to Ashes. Ashes to Ashes is a great song. Um, it's got this. I think it's interesting. Because the way that Bowie the way that Bowie like continues to make things sound futuristic but in new ways is really cool. This sounds very spacey, but it sounds spacey in a different way than Space Oddity sounds spacey, which sounds spacey in a different way than Black Star sounds spacey. Bowie does a lot of these kind of crazy psychedelic space things. Um but he does them in different exciting ways. As for hotness, we'll give 3 to the creepy clown. Um you're having a this is my freaky this is your freaky space dream, Brett. Um I think a cool thing, Ashes to Ashes, the music video is really really cool and really really important. Um I think I think maybe we should pull up. No, no, that seems like a lot of work. But I think it shows that Bowie was ahead of his time always. The fact that in 1980 Bowie is making high budget music videos because he knows that this is a medium that is going to be important. He knows that this is a medium that will define music for the next 20 years. And so he makes this weird, experimental, high tech at the time, even though it looks pretty low tech now, music video. And that's really cool. And I think something about Bowie is Bowie has always been good at music, but he's also been always good at everything around music. He's been good at the performance. He's been good at the aesthetics. He's been good at videos. He understands intrinsically that music is about far more than just playing songs. Um, Music is about immersing people in worlds, and he's very good at that. He immerses them through lyrics and through music, but also through aesthetic videos and through Fashion. Turn to the left. Um, yeah. Yeah. Adam Baker notes Bowie was making music videos as early as Space Oddity. He absolutely knew how important they were going to be. That's a very good point. Life on Mars also has one. He has a lot of early promotional videos. But Ashes to Ashes at the time was the most expensive music video ever made. And I think the fact that it came from David Bowie is no surprise. I really love Fashion. Behind Ashes to Ashes, Fashion is probably my favorite song on this album. I think there's this thing. I think there's this thing with Bowie where I know it's unfashionable to talk about singles as being your favorite songs off albums, but Bowie knows music very well, and Bowie picks really good singles. Bowie picks his best songs as singles. And I think the best songs on this album are the singles. Yeah, it's the other songs are also great. I like Kingdom Come. But the Bowie picks the best songs as his singles, and I think that's probably a trend that you can notice. Like, if we look at his albums, like Young Americans, best songs are the singles. Hunky Dory, probably most of the best songs are the singles. Bowie knows how to release good music, and he picks really strong singles. Getting a bunch of followers in here. Welcome to all the new followers. Thank you for joining in and watching. Good to have you here. Where what, like midway through his career? He did how many albums? We're at 12 albums. Out of how many? Like 27 or something like that? 21. Oh no, that's 27 studio. I was right. As per usual. 29 if we're including Tin Machine. 30. Yeah, we're pretty close to halfway through, and we're getting to some points where I'm going to be going through some of them faster. But let's get into tonight. Yeah, Canada, you'd say Local Bloke Candidate might be better than Diamond Dogs. I think this doesn't mean that he doesn't have singles that like deep cuts that are good. There's a lot of deep cuts that are really good. But I think generally his singles are the best songs on his album. Okay. Tonight, wait, did I miss one? When's Let's Dance? Or is that later? Yeah, I am forgetting Let's Dance. That's what I thought. Sorry, I was clicking through and I must have missed it. Let's Dance is a solid B tier album. I love Let's Dance. I think it's got some of the best songs of Bowie's career. Yeah, I agree with a Big Juicy Pineapple. The A side is way stronger than the B side. Boxing Bowie gets 5 stars. You knew shirtless Boxing Bowie was going to get 5 stars. Shirtless Boxing Bowie is going to get 5 stars and a couple muscle emojis. I like Bowie when he's not deathly thin from all of the cocaine. It's nice to see him put some weight on and look healthy. And I mean, if we're talking haircuts, the golden 80s Bowie haircut is probably my favorite. I like Let's Dance. Modern Love, though, is the song off this album. Modern Love is incredible. Um, yeah, Modern Love kicks ass. Let's Dance as an album kicks ass. Um, it's just Bowie fucking flexing on the world and being like, I can make dance pop songs that'll be played on dance floors until the end of time. Oh yeah, the best of Bowie album cover is Ten Fires. I know that album cover well. I know that album cover very well, let me tell you. Um Apparently Rolling Stone described this as the conclusion of arguably the greatest 14-year run in rock history. Um and I think that's accurate. Because Let's Dance is great. And Tonight. Uh Dowie. Wow. Starting to get stream brain. David Bowie on Diamond Dogs, he sang about 1984 and he sang about the dark things that would happen in 1984. He sang about Orwell's dystopia, but you know what was worse than all of that? Worse than all of that was the album that David Bowie released in 1984. I don't like Tonight. Loving the Alien is good, maybe goodish, has good soundscapes. Shouldn't be 7 minutes. Tonight is it's where the missteps start to happen. Yeah, Bowie with Let's Dance, Bowie released a pop album that was just like had top 40 bangers through and through. With Tonight, Bowie released a pop album that is kind of full of vapid pop filler a lot of the time. Yeah. I don't know if it's F, though. Clicking through and listening to some tracks, I think it can be a D. It can go with, I don't know. What's, chat, D or F, what are we saying? Are we throwing Tonight in the bin, or are we saying it's redeemable? I think maybe it's redeemable. What do you say, chat? I'm holding for your answers. D, yeah, subpar Iggy Pop covers. Oh, a Big Juicy Pineapple says F. Well, we'll let people debate that and move on, because next is Magic, Labyrinth. I don't. Oh, KD Guitar. We are gonna be putting something down in F. I have thoughts on Hours. Spoiler alert. Labyrinth soundtrack. I love Labyrinth. I love the movie. I love the soundtrack. I think most of the a lot of the soundtrack is on Trevor Jones. But yeah, I don't know. Chilly Down, Magic Dance. I think there's a chintzy there's a chintzy charm to Labyrinth that is gonna get it low in the B tier. Oh, I didn't rate his hotness in the Tonight cover. 1 second. I didn't rate his hotness because he looks cold. He looks cold. Look at him. He's chilly. His skin's blue, for fuck's sake. That's a cold Bowie. Yeah, can we... I wish I could do, like... Okay, would you guys... Would you guys listen to me watching Labyrinth and doing a commentary track? Is that something that I could do? I mean, I'd like to just like stream it and react live, but I don't think that's I don't know how legal that is that a thing people can do on stream? Can you do like Mystery Science Theater on 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 uh on Twitch? Probably not, because copyright law is dumb. But maybe someday, maybe I will record a commentary track with someone else. Ooh, watch party on the Discord. Absolutely, absolutely, Adam Baker. I will do that as a watch party on the Discord. Um, I think that's great. Um, yeah. Watch along on a streaming site. Watch along on a streaming site could be good. Um, yeah, but I think I'll do a Discord watch party. So, if any of you want to get in the Poly Discord, um, polyphonic Discord, by the way, a Poly Discord is something else. Um, yeah, I would love to watch Labyrinth and share my thoughts. If you want a quick preview of my thoughts on Labyrinth, I'm gonna use this Labyrinth thing as an excuse to talk about Labyrinth as a movie beyond just Bowie, because I think Labyrinth is an absolute fantasy classic, and I think it needs to be treated as so. I think honestly, when you look at fantasy movies, Labyrinth is one of the greatest fantasy movies ever made. Um, I think that says more about fantasy as a genre than Labyrinth. But if you take out the big franchises like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and How to Train Your Dragon, um if you look at like standalone fantasy films, also not including Studio Ghibli, obviously, uh but it's like it's like Labyrinth, and then I mean The Princess Bride is one of the greatest movies ever made, as well as the greatest one of the greatest fantasy. But Labyrinth is a really good fantasy movie. It has everything you want out of fantasy. It has this really compelling world with these amazing surreal visuals. It's got a lovable cast of misfits. It's got a human theme at the core of it, with the kind of the Bildungsroman of it, or Kunstelroman, I guess. It's a good movie, and it's got a killer soundtrack, and all that I'm gonna say, chat, and I'm gonna start you off here, and I'm gonna rely on you to hopefully finish it, and do not, no duplicates. If any of you duplicate, you'll mess up. But I'm gonna start here with, you remind me of the Babe. Now I'm gonna watch and see what happens in chat as everyone tries to respond and do the whole thing. If you can all do it with no coordination, the whole interchange, I'll be proud of you. All right, What Babe by Joxley. All right, The Babe with the Power. Oh, we missed What Power. We missed What Power. I'm proud of you for trying. I'm very proud of all of you. Slime and snails, or puppy dog tails. All right. Dance. All right. So, time never let me down. More like, I'll never listen. Woulda let me down. Yeah, Never Let Me Down is a bad album. It's I think I think I haven't listened to the 2018 version. I think the thing about Never Let Me Down, its saving grace is that it launched the Glass Spider tour, which is really cool. The Glass Spider tour is incredible. Like the what Bowie did visually, the aesthetics. Yeah, Labyrinth. I remember the area, but tell me where on this artwork you can see the area. It's a ranking of how hot he is on the album cover, not how hot he is in the movie. Yeah, Glass Spider's cool. Never Let Me Down is a letdown. And Bowie's not even that hot on the cover. Yeah, Glass Spider's good, but if you haven't listened to this album, you really don't need to. It's not even like a comically bad or a bad in interesting way album. It's just a not very good album, and it's kind of depressing to see Bowie do something that is just thoroughly average. Yeah, I think it can go into the F tier. We've made it to not good Bowie. As we've made it to not good Bowie, we've also made it to Bowie that I honestly haven't listened to a ton of. I don't like listening to bad albums, so I don't. I like the title track of Black Tie White Noise has some funky stuff going on. It might be better than Tonight. Like I'm really fond of the sax stuff. But generally this is actually this is going to be the outlier in terms of hotness and quality, because as you'll note, there's usually actually a bit of a correlation between hotness and quality. But Black Tie White Noise is a bad album, and Bowie is giving me fuck me eyes on the cover, and I'm about it. This is, we'll just say yes, daddy, to this Bowie. That's what we say to this Bowie. I also really genuinely like the title track of this album. Now that I'm listening to it for the first time in a decade, I should listen to it more often. Yeah. I guess also though, yeah. Are we on to Tin Machine now? Yeah. Should have called the album Downright Smoke Show. Let me listen to Jump, they say. I haven't listened to this album much. We're getting into some albums here. Yeah, the changes Bowie, all of the Changes Bowie albums change, their artwork changes things in my pants. That was bad. Please erase that. That was really bad. Yeah. I'm just looking now at all the Bowie Changes ones. We're on to, let's just ignore that I said that and move on to Tin Machine. Oh great, clipping. Everyone's clipping it. That's okay. All right. Tin Machine. I like Tin Machine. I really like Tin Machine. I like them not enough to put them in B tier, but enough to put them in C tier. Ooh. I think I put them in C Town below Lodger, but above his self-titled actually. Yeah, I don't think they quite make it to B tier for me, but that's also just because I'm being kind of hard. Okay, maybe this is what I should do. Maybe I should actually just bump Lodger up to B tier and put Tin Machine in B tier, because I was like, I kind of want to put it in B tier, but I can't actually put it above Low, because I don't believe that Tin Machine is better than Low. Or Lodger rather, not Low. Sorry, Tin Machine. Tin Machine is definitely not better than Low. Yeah. So Lodger's getting a promotion, and Tin Machine's going in low B tier. Oh, Tin Machine is going. Honestly, like, if we wanted Labyrinth to be accurate, it would actually go right on the bulge there. So it's gonna get its own bulge tier. And if anything else can go in the bulge tier, let me know, because this is the area, aka the bulge tier. Yeah. There we go. And Tin Machine is one where, like, the strong songs on the album are really strong. Heaven's in Here especially is a really great blues jam, but there's not much depth to this album, and it really does not justify nearly an hour runtime. It's really, yeah, it's an okay album. The good songs are good, but there's no depth to it, and it shouldn't be 56 minutes. We're approaching the point in music history that's called the 90s, or the CD era, where albums get too long. There are a few albums that need to be longer than 40 minutes. I bet you I could find you a complete correlation between artists' worst albums are probably tend to be their longest. 40 minutes is what an album should be, or 80 minutes if it's a double album, and even then there's not many double albums. Maybe I'll do a double album tier list. That's what I'm gonna do this week, maybe. A double album tier list. Are you interested in that? Would you watch me rank historical double albums? Tin Machine 2. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, Bowie is hot as fuck in the Tin Machine artwork. Yes, that's great. Tin Machine 2. Is that what or is it called? Yeah. Is it not on Spotify? Is Tin Machine 2 not on Spotify? Holy fuck. Tin Machine 2 isn't on Spotify. How the hell am I gonna remember a damn thing about this? Let me look at the... I remember Tin Machine 2 being worse than Tin Machine. Tin Machine 2 is gonna get bumped down to the C tier. You don't know my sexuality, and that's making the Bowie hotness jokes even funnier. Well, thank you, I guess. Yeah. Also, I've been doing this for nearly 2 hours and still have some albums left, so we're gonna... No, I looked it up, and I looked on Tin Machine's page. They don't have it, so we're gonna brush by Tin Machine 2. It's alright. And, we're gonna call the album artwork, it's gotta be italic. Really, italic and bold. It's gonna be, I really wish Bowie was Bowie instead. If you know what I mean. I think it's too late for tasteful Bowie nudes. I don't think they'd be tasteful anymore. That was bad. Oh god, that was bad. What are we doing? Where are we going? What's up after Tin Machine? Buddha of Suburbia, eh? Buddha of Suburbia, I honestly can't say I've listened to it that much. But I think I'm gonna put it in low C. It's cool, but it doesn't... I don't know, I think Bowie is at his best when he's singing and doing lyrics and things like that. Like, he does have some great instrumentalists, and he's definitely got, like, he can definitely write songs, but I kind of want Bowie on my Bowie albums. I want to hear him. All right. Time for Outside. All right. Does anyone in the chat have thoughts on Buddha of Suburbia? Yeah, for those that don't know, Buddha of Suburbia was a mini-series that Bowie scored. That's not Outside. That's not Outside by David Bowie, Spotify. That's Stained. Why the hell would I listen to Stained? I was, like, talking about something else, and it was coming on for 20 seconds, and I was like, that doesn't sound like Outside. Can we talk about how, the full name of Outside is Outside the Nathan Adler Diaries, a Hypercycle, which you should not name your songs that, your albums that. That's very convoluted. It's a good album. It tells an interesting story. It's Bowie trying to do, again, Bowie tries to do these, like he really wants to do a like concept album, story album, but it doesn't work. It doesn't really work. So we're gonna put it in the C tier. I'm running out of gas, fans. I'm running out of gas, fam. But we're gonna power through. We've made it. I haven't eaten since lunch, and it's 7:30, so I'm starving, and I am losing my mind as we do this. And also, that might coincide with me losing my mind as we're getting into Bowie albums that I know less about and are weirder. Earthling. Non-linear hypercycle. What was I gonna say? Yeah. Earthling. I think Earthling goes into the B tier. I like Earthling as an album. I think it's really, really cool to hear Bowie doing industrial music. And I think this is the thing, is I think he doesn't do it as well as any of his contemporaries, which is weird for Bowie because historically when he went into something, he did it better than his contemporaries. But it's really cool to hear this guy who's been around, been in the business for 30 years, not be doing kind of like bloated weird stuff, but be looking at this very emerging underground genre and like really appreciate it and try to do something with it and try to I don't know, try to work with it. It's cool, and clearly this is when Bowie got into club drugs. This is when Bowie discovered ecstasy. And ecstasy Bowie is good, but I prefer Coke Bowie. If Bowie's okay, it's time to no, maybe after when we're done, we are going to go through and decide what drugs Bowie was on during each album. Yeah. Earthling goes hard. And I respect it for that. It's the heaviest album of Bowie's career, hands down. Okay. One sec. I'm pulling something up. Yeah. Okay. Trash can emoji. That's what I'm Googling. All right. I can't find a good garbage can emoji. I can probably find a good image of one. 1 second. This is very important to me. This is very important to me. So thank you for putting up with me as I find a good picture of a trash can. Yeah, there we go. There's a trash can emoji, and I'm putting that right down there. And does anyone want to take a guess as to what's gonna go into the trash can? Any guesses as to what's gonna be filling this fucking ugly trash can? Yeah, it's ours, guys. Surprise, surprise. It's ours. I hate ours. Absolutely a big juicy pineapple. Ours is a crime against graphic design, and that is honestly, unironically, the number one reason I hate it. I get what he's trying to do graphically. Like, that is very early 2000s, and the wild thing is that there's almost some charm to it sometimes, but oh, that's not how that works. Oh well. Okay. There's some charm to like lo-fi like 2000s aesthetic. It's coming back in a way. But I am not having any of it on this Bowie album cover. That's tonight. That's tonight in the trash. Yeah, informed by Windows XP, but not in a fun, charming sort of way. More in a ugly, hideous way. Also, I don't like new age music very much. I don't like new age music. I think there are people that do it well, but it's not what I want from Bowie. It's just kind of like lazy adult alternative stuff. I'm sure he put work into it, and I'm sure I shouldn't call it lazy, but it's not for me. And I'm getting tired, so we're gonna power through it and go on to Heathen. Alright. Heathen is decent. Low C tier, I think. I mean, kinda... I don't know. Again, I haven't listened to it that much. No, you know what? No, it's 52 minutes. That's going into the D tier. Great album artwork, though. Really, really great album artwork. Fuck with Slow Burn so hard. These, again, Heathen's an album I haven't listened to much. But Heathen is going to get its own little rating for this artwork. Heathen is going to get 5 little devils. Devilishly handsome, exactly. Ours started as a video game soundtrack, so if I had to play one video game with Ours on loop until I completed it, what would it be? You know what? Just because it comes to mind as a game that you can play relatively quickly, and it's also hilarious to think of playing it with Heathen playing on backgrounds, I'm going to say BioShock. I should make that a Patreon donation tier. If you reach a certain level, I will play all of BioShock with Hours on repeat until I beat it, and I will document the experience until my brain melts. Will I be tweeting this out? Absolutely. Okay. The consensus in Heathen in the chat is that it's up here a bit, so I'll trust that. Because again, I don't know it very well. Next album I do actually know very well, and I'm honestly like, I'm really fond of it. I really like Reality as an album. I think it's like solid B tier, like high B tier album. Well, the thing is, if I listen to Hours on repeat after a while, I'd probably like it. I do this thing where I listen to music for hours on end until I like it. Well, not until I like it, but generally I find something to like in it. I'm very open to new sounds. The thing with me in music is what was I gonna say? The thing the thing with me in music is that I genuinely try to find things that I like in music, and I really believe that all music has merit. And even in these, when I kind of trash things, I bet you I could find good things in those albums if I really tried. So listening to it wouldn't actually really be torture. Listening to it, honestly, if I was forced to do it, it would probably be a fun experience that I would enjoy. Unless if it was listening to Stained on end, like Said El Cougar said, I would not listen to Stained on end. I don't like Stained. Anyways, Reality's a good album. The cover of Pablo Picasso, that's fun. The what, Fall Dog Bombs to the Moon. It's a fun album, you know? I like it. What's the most weeaboo emoji out there? Because I need an emoji for his look on this one. I'm gonna step away for like 30 seconds and then I will return. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, everyone. Um, I am back. I was trying to find something to eat, but I could not, so I'm just gonna sit here starving. And my mental faculties will disappear. All right. Anyways, point is, what's a I'm just gonna look up anime emoji. Yes, sure. Sure, this is a weeaboo emoji. Lazarus 16 has followed. Is your name a reference to Bowie, Lazarus? Here. Yeah, no, dust my areology shrine. Okay. Any opinion of the song Girls? No, I do not have an opinion on that song. Also, Bring Me the Disco King kicks total ass and is a fucking wicked name for a song. Like, just imagine releasing a song called Bring Me the Disco King. Imagine marching into a room and yelling, "Bring me the Disco King." It's, yeah, we're losing it. We're going off the fucking hinge. Also, it's a really cool song. That's what I was saying. All right. We're closing in. We're closing in. We're almost there while I'm losing my sanity, which is how these things should go. That's how these things work. And what are we on to next? We are on to the next day. Yeah, these streams are much calmer than the YouTube streams were. It's nice. Yeah. It's easier to keep up with chat. I don't think you guys understand how mentally taxing it is to do this. The next day, are you ready for a fucking fiery take? The next day is here. The next day is high A tier. I love The Next Day. I think I like it better than Young Americans or Aladdin Sane. Um, my one knock on it is it's too long. It should be 40 minutes, and there's a couple things you can cut, but the run at the beginning, the kind of like, maybe that's not a hot take, but I don't know. The run at the beginning, is astounding. Like, The Next Day, Dirty Boys is one of my favorite Bowie songs ever. Where Are We Now is heartbreaking. The Stars Are Out Tonight. And the other thing that I will say is the music videos. Holy fuck. The music videos for this album are the best videos of Bowie's career. Oh, except maybe Black Star, never mind. But they're fantastic. It's really exciting to see Bowie. It's really exciting to see Bowie like, it's cool that we got a time for him to work in the age of digital music videos where he would have budgets and A-name actors. Like, the Next Day has fucking Gary Oldman in it, and The Stars Are Out Tonight has Tilda Swinton, and they're just these fantastic, really cool, weird pieces. If you haven't seen the music videos for The Next Day, you should totally go watch them. Or the Next Day especially, and also The Stars Are Out Tonight. And then Where Are We Now is pretty cool too. But those two music videos I love. They're some of my favorite music videos. Here I am, not quite dying. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That thing that pissed a lot of people off that I did at the end of last year, where I released a video on 5 artists that helped shape the 2010s. I just really wanted to talk about Black Star and The Next Day. That's why I included a Bowie one. And that's kind of what I said in it. It pissed people off, but I just said these are things that shaped it for me. And I do think that they're really important albums, because I think there's this thing that we've seen happening toward the end of a lot of rock stars' lives these days, where there's a lot of these people that were like gods back in the day, that kind of fell off the path trying to stay relevant, and ended up doing a lot of stuff that just was incredibly forgettable. I need to make these smaller, don't I? Are you all there in the chat? Are you listening, by the way? But there were all of these big albums that were doing these things, big artists that were doing these albums that weren't great, and then in the modern era, there's kind of been this resurgence of these really fantastic artists towards the end of their career, doing this kind of reflection on who they are and what it means to be a rock star, and not even just a rock star. Like Bowie did it. I mean, I think the first to do these is kind of Dylan kind of had a version of this in the 90s, but like Bowie's The Next Day is a really good take on this, and obviously Black Star is even more of a version of this. But then you also have like You Want It Darker. Bruce Springsteen's new album is really solid. Rough and Rowdy Ways again. Mavis Staples, Charles Bradley too. Good calls. This is really a it's a really cool kind of reflection of that, and I think that that's a modern thing. And also, my wife just brought me Wendy's fries and chicken strips, so we're gonna have the energy to finish this stream. Can we get a please, a huge shout out to my wife in the chat? I'm gonna disappear for 5 seconds. thank Wifey Phonic for the energy I'm about to have. All right. Thank you for all the thanks of my wife. I'm going to periodically disappear from the mic um to eat chicken fingers because we don't want this to be a weird polyphonic ASMR thing unless you guys are really into that and into my mouth sounds. Speaking of mouth sounds, Neil Cicerega should do some tier list around that. But when I come back, if you hear silence, it's just because I'm eating chicken fingers because I need it for life. But I'm vivid and alive now. Yeah, a lot of people who say didn't know I was married. I got married this year in the middle of a pandemic. We got married in a fever. And it was really nice. And my wife's the best. The other thing that's the best is the next day as this kind of statement for where rock stars are. And I think in the 2010s, also someone mentioned the Endless River as one of those, something like that. I totally agree. I think Bowie does this really cool thing in the title track of the next day, where he's just like, he takes this image of this kind of person being like pulled and whipped through the streets and like being punished and demanded, and then standing in a log and saying, "Here I am, not quite dying." I love that. I think that's an amazing sentiment that Bowie was able to kick off the kick off the 2010s with. And man, I wish we could have got more because he was in a place with these albums. What do I think of those resurgent artists' music in those rough periods? I think it's very up and down. There's some Dylan albums that people would call rough that I'm fond of. Like, I mean, Self Portrait is a straight up good album, but that's a whole other thing. But like, I think I like Slow Train Coming a lot. I there's a couple things where like, I think it's very personal, and I think it's cool if you ever go to a Bob Dylan show. If you're ever lucky enough to go to a Bob Dylan show, I've been to one, and something that's really neat. This feels like a tangent, but I promise it's relevant. But when you go to a Dylan show, it's just like full of people who love all these different periods of Dylan. You've got these like evangelical Christians there. You've got these like country western guys there. You've got these like jaded Greenwich folk adults, like kids who grew up there. And it's really cool because there's so much diversity. And I think that's how I feel. Excuse me. I think that's where what I feel about with the resurgent artists' music in those rough periods is there's someone that loves it, and I think that that's really cool, and I think that that doesn't devalue the work, because I do think a lot of this work does have its fans, and I think that's what's awesome about music is that we can love different things and we can stop and try to figure out what we love about it. And when someone says, "Oh, this album's good," instead of saying, "No, it's shit," like say, "Hey, yo, why do you think that's good? What do you get out of that I'm missing?" this has just segued into a general discussion on music conversation. Sorry, had to mow on a chicken strip again. Pizza 1938, I don't know what the crowds, beside the names of some people in chat, mean. Because I'm also new to Twitch. Alright. We have made it. We're here. We have made it to what I'm gonna call the single best album of David Bowie's career. Black Star, in my mind, is Black Star is a triumph that was astounding when it came out and only gets better with age. It's an album that it just, when it first came out, it absolutely floored me. Even I listened to it in a few days before he passed, and it just floored me. It was so dark and weird and inventive, and then to have him die right after. I think I said this in one of my videos, but I really stand by it. Bowie's entire life was a performance, and so it's really fitting that his death was one in a way too. There's some magic to him releasing an album with a song called Lazarus and dying 3 days later. This album kind of shakes me to my core when I think about it. And then removed from the context, the songs also just kick ass. The music is really, really inventive. I really like the jazz of it. The whole thing has this morose soundscape, but in a unique kind of way. And I really love I really just love the whole soundscape of it. It's really emotional too. And I would also say the gut punch of the last two songs. Dollar Days is one of my favorite Bowie songs. It's just so desperate. It's such a like really hearty, heavy, desperate song. Like, don't for a second that you believe I'm he's singing about dying. And he's singing basically that he doesn't want to die. And then he ends with I Can't Give Everything Away. Which is just this really warm, beautiful song that ends on a absolutely astounding sentiment. And I love this album. This is, if I had to pick my favorite albums of all time, this is probably one of them, and it might be like top 5. I love this album. I never get sick of listening to this album. I think it's really cool to see an artist go out like that with a genuine swan song. Like, not one of these swan songs where you're like, oh yeah, no, like it's a pretty solid album. Like it's cool that they got to release that before they broke up or died or something. Like, Bowie went out at the top of his game and went out reminding the world that he was David fucking Bowie. So mad respect to that. We are nearly done here. I think I kind of want to go through and add drug ratings to it as how druggy it is and on which drug. But I don't think I have that in me. So we'll leave it at this. I will be posting this. I will be posting this on my Twitter. I should probably save this. That's a good idea. Yeah, and if you want to see highlights of this, if you weren't able to tune in for the whole thing, if you want to rewatch it for some reason, they're all going to be available on my on Polyphonic Live. It's a channel where I'm going to be posting highlights from these kind of I'm going to be doing more of these kind of things and have them posted there. Sorry, Stream Brain is eating away at me. Look how beautiful and organized this chart is. It's like a baby, very important chart. I think I'm going to call this series Janky Tier Lists. So thanks for joining in. Someone said to change the fires for white boxes on the next day. They're fires with white boxes on them. Yes. Twitch will be my primary streaming thing. I'm still going to do a few things on YouTube to try to get some of the audience over there, but Twitch is going to be the number one primary streaming thing. Twitch is just better suited for streaming. So I want to make things happen here. And I want to do more of these tier list things, so hit me up on Twitter if you have ideas of tier lists that you want me to do. I think the next one I'll probably do is double albums. I think that's really fun. Thank you all for joining in. I think I am going to go now. Bye.